said the EU has said that they have offered zero for zero tariffs on cars and industrial goods. Is that not enough?
Well, the EU, no, it's not. The EU has been very tough over the years. I always say it was formed to really do damage to the United States in trade. That's the reason it was formed. It was formed with all of the countries from Europe, I guess most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And they formed together to create a little bit of a monopoly situation, to create a unified force against the United States for trade. So they have NATO, which is largely the same countries, and they took advantage of us dollar-wise and militarily until I got there. You know, I was able to get $600 billion from NATO, where they paid NATO because most of these nations weren't even paying. We were paying for NATO, so we're paying them to guard them militarily, and they're screwing us on trade. So that's not a good combination. So now it's really turned around. It's the opposite, and the European Union's been very bad to us. They don't take our cars, like Japan in that sense. They don't take our agricultural product. They don't take anything practically. And yet they send millions of cars in a year, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, BMWs. They're sending millions and millions of cars into the U.S., but we don't have a car that's been sold to the European Union or other places, but let's go for the European Union. And it's not going to be that way. It's got to be fair and reciprocal. It's got to be fair. It's not fair. We have a deficit with the European Union of $350 billion. And it's going to disappear fast. And one of the reasons and one of the ways that that can disappear easily and quickly is they're going to have to buy our energy from us because they need it. They're going to have to buy it from us. They can buy it. We can knock off $350 billion in 1 week. They have to buy and commit to buy a like amount of energy. And we have that. You know, we have more energy than any country in the world. I don't know if you know that. He knows everything, but the one thing he may not know, we have more energy than any country in the world. We have more of every kind of energy, every form of energy, from oil and gas to coal. And people talk about, I call it beautiful, clean coal. As you know, Germany is opening up a coal plant a week. They tried the windmills and it didn't work. They tried all the other solutions and they were ready to go out of business. Now they're doing a coal plant a week. China is now up to 2 coal plants. They're opening 2 major coal plants every single week in China, all over China, and then we're not allowed to use coal. Well, we have clean, beautiful coal more than anybody else. We have oil and gas more than anybody else. We have the most energy of any country in the world, including Saudi Arabia, including everybody, by a lot. And I took it to #1. We were #3, and I took it to #1 during my administration. And the reason that we were hurt so badly and the reason that we went into such incredible inflation during Biden is energy. It was also their bad spending, but energy, because they played around with this incredible thing that we had built, this administration had built, and the energy costs went through the roof. And when that went up, everything else followed. Now, if you look at what's happening, you got to see this today. I said we're going to try and get groceries down, right? An old-fashioned term, but a beautiful term. Eggs. So when I got in, the press went absolutely crazy the first week. They said, eggs have quadrupled in price. I said, I just got here. Tell me about it. And Brooke Rollins and our team did a great job, and eggs are down now 79%, and they're all over the place. And this was a problem that somebody else would have taken a long time to cure. We have energy is down. We have interest rates are down. We have groceries, meaning food is down. We have everything is down at levels that nobody ever thought possible. Energy looks like it's going to be in the $2.50 a gallon range, and maybe below that for a car. So for gasoline. So we're really doing amazing. I mean, we're cutting prices because prices got so high, people couldn't live. I mean, the prices for groceries, the prices for standard groceries, standard things were going.
I just have to touch on something. He's weaving his conversation right now, but the fact that he's saying that's what the EU has to do is very interesting. I have not heard him say this before. I've never heard him touch on this before, but now he's saying they have to get their energy from the US because I played that clip of that woman saying she wants to go 0 for 0 on certain things. So that's not enough. They'll have to do that and get their energy from the U.S. I don't know if they're going to do that, but it's on the table. And when you're in negotiations like this, once Trump puts something like this on the table, you have to consider it. Because if you say no, then you're going down a dark path. Because now you're going to have to go toe-to-toe, and who knows what else he might do. More tariffs, et cetera, pull out of NATO, no more protection. You know, there's a bunch of things that he might end up doing. And they need the energy. They do. This might work. I don't know. Maybe a pride stance will keep them from doing it, but it does make sense for them to do that, to start getting their energy from America. And then he's saying, and I don't know if the numbers are real, you can get rid of that $350 billion in 1 week. Ooh, this is, man, I get it. There's so many people that dislike Trump, but wow, this is very, very smart. And I know there's a bunch of people, you know, along with him helping him, but this is very intelligent. These moves have been very intelligent. And I know I'm biased. I like Trump already. You know, someone who doesn't like Trump will tell me why these moves are all very stupid and the world's ending because of them. But from what I can see, what he's actually trying to pull off negotiation-wise, because you have to remember, everything's a deal, right? Everything that he's trying to do is a deal. Like, let's try and get this deal done. What kind of deal can we make here? He's pulling it off when it comes to this. He's really pulling this off. This is, oh, man. If they start getting the energy, that's it. Because think about it. If he's saying 350, and let's be conservative. Let's say he's off by 100 billion. Let's just say it's 250 billion a week. All of a sudden, the U.S. is generating. Wow. He might actually be able to balance the budget, because you got to remember, at the end of the day, people think he's just doing these things to be terrible. At the end of the day, what he's trying to do is balance the budget so America can come out in a surplus for the first time in decades. Because when America had a surplus, that's when it was great for the American citizens. You know? Way back. So if he can get to that point again, wow. And then there's talk about Alberta. Alberta's making demands, saying they don't like who's going to be put as the PM, their prime minister. And they're saying that if this guy who's installed, this Mark Carney guy, if this guy gets in, they're going to become the premier. This is not just people talking. The person who runs Alberta is going to now hold a vote and actually move towards becoming the 51st state of the United States of America. And they have a massive amount of oil. So now all of a sudden, Trump says, you're going to get your stuff from us. You're going to get your energy from us. And then all of a sudden, Alberta opens up to America. Oh my gosh. This guy's a genius. This is crazy. Crazy stuff. Let's see what Israel was saying. Apparently, they are trying to do the whole 0 for 0 thing with the U.S. You know, Trump's going to say no to some of these people. Like Eric Trump said, he said the first countries to step in, they will be rewarded. But the last countries to actually step up and make those calls and everything, they're going to lose. So let's see what BB has to say here.
First, if I can mention tariffs, it's a subject of some interest today. I can tell you that I said to the president a very simple thing. We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States. We intend to do it very quickly. We think it's the right thing to do. And we're going to also eliminate trade barriers, a variety of trade barriers that have been put up unnecessarily. And I think Israel can serve as a model for many countries who ought to do the same. I recognize the position of the United States. It says, you know, we're allowing other countries to put tariffs on us, but we don't put tariffs on them. And, you know, I'm a free trade champion, and free trade has to be fair trade. And I think that's basically the position that you have put forward, Mr. President. We are going to eliminate the tariffs, and rapidly. I had the opportunity to speak to Secretary Lutnick yesterday. We talked about how we could affect this quickly, and I hope to bring a solution very quickly. We're not talking about intentions. We're not talking about just words. We're talking about results, and those results are going to come. That's the first.
Thank you very much. It's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, for anyone wondering, that's about, I think it's over $7 billion that he's talking about eliminating. So, I mean, with the numbers that Trump is playing with right now, the numbers that he's bringing in, it's not a massive number, but they are willing to eliminate that apparently, and then they want to go 0 for 0 because Bibi here is a free trade champion, as he says. I didn't know he held the title. I could swear that Trump actually held the title of free trade champion. Just saying. But apparently that's what Bibi's willing to do. Great. I think more countries will follow. It's not a big number, and there may not be a lot of trade going on from U.S. to Israel unless you're talking about like politicians or something like that. But other than that, just kidding. I'm just kidding. But the thing is, as countries give in, more countries will go, okay, we better give in. That's what's going to happen. They're going to start giving in. If every country held the line and said, no, we're not giving into this, we're doing retaliatory, they would all just start doing it, and they'd all start moving in sequence. But when they start to see this person fold and that person fold and that person fold, they start going, oh, okay, I guess I better become an early adopter instead of becoming one of the holdouts, because that holds weight in the negotiation in not a good way. Knowing that you're the country, oh, you held out the longest, you decided, because every week somebody holds out, a nation holds out. That just means that there's going to be more money that you're charging the U.S. and more money that they're charging you. So it's like, do you really want to be this holdout, or do you actually want to just right away play ball and show that you have respect for President Trump? And that's probably the way to go, showing that you have respect for President Trump. So hopefully this becomes a trend. If this becomes a trend, that's massive. Like Bibi or not, like him or not, that becomes massive. If other countries step up and say, we'll eliminate our trade deficit, we'll eliminate it, we'll get rid of it, we'll throw it out, we'll forget about it. If enough countries do that, that's going to be huge. That's a huge win for Trump. Huge win for Trump. Let me see. Where was the rest of the Bibi?